I used to pass a sign on the road here saying Meitheal volunteers wanted, and I said I really must ring that number sometime. And one day I did, and I came out with them the first day, and it was great because there was 25, 30 people there. It was sociable, and a lot of rhododendron killed.
Watch where we're stepping, take your time.
Well, you want to be relatively fit.
The most important thing is your footwear.
You have to watch yourself with fog holes.
Proper rain gear.
The terrain can be rough at times.
The toughest thing is getting up early on a Sunday morning.
You have to be ready for all sorts of weather. Killarney's like that. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
Actually, when I joined the Meitheal, I didn't know a lot about what the Meitheal did, and I learnt year on year about the pest that is the rhododendron in the park.
The rhododendron ponticum, as we know it, the one you see in South Kerry today with that big purple flower, is a monster plant. It's like I actually call it rhododendron Frankenstein because it's a plant that's very difficult to control and manage.
It's the nearest thing to the plant version of cancer that I'm aware of. I think it's a huge threat.
There are several hundred rhododendron species worldwide. The only problem one that we know of is rhododendron ponticum. It was introduced into Britain in the 18th century from the Iberian Peninsula into Kew Gardens. The gardeners crossed the original ponticum with other rhododendron species, and they created a hybrid which was frost tolerant.
It's poisonous to everything, nothing eats it. So the price of those showy flowers for 2 weeks in the year is all the other native flowers. Everything else underneath is gone. When you go into a place that's been completely covered in a level 5 infestation, it's hard to describe unless you've actually seen it.
A scene from Lord of the Rings where you go into this dark, absolutely dark, dense woodland, entanglement of branches and limbs. You don't know which direction you're in.
This is the results of years of rhododendron growth that has not been checked in any way. And here you have it, like this is the forest floor, the woodland floor. There's nothing, absolutely nothing here.
Beneath this sort of a green outer shell with occasional flowers, and everything inside that is dead.
Then with your hatchet and your spray can, you can actually prevent this from continuing to grow.
We do use herbicide. People may be, aghast to that, but we have perfected the method now where we're just targeting the stems of the plants and there's no collateral damage.
The feeling initially is of hopelessness, but with the volunteers we have in the Meitheal, we are able to tackle vast areas of infestation successfully.
Because the Meitheal, this whole area is pretty much cleared now. Now you do have to come back in because the seeds, some do persist, so you have to keep coming back in over the years to make sure nothing else flowers.
It's absolutely great to come back and see this because there's the strong possibility that you would have nothing growing on the undergrowth here. I see the ferns are up already, they'll come anyway, but I see grass coming up because these have all lost their foliage, there's sunlight hitting the ground and the natural vegetation has already taken hold.
We brought it down to a place where we have the right method and it's up to having the resources now to carry out the control of rhododendron. Maybe for government to become involved as well and designate it as a noxious weed and provide funding for its clearance because it's endangering our native biodiversity.
I don't know the ins and the outs of what has to happen for all of the rhododendron in the park to go, and I don't think it'll be in my lifetime, but I certainly hope that, in my daughter's or in her child's life that we'll see less rhododendron in the national park.
I have never gone out in the Meitheal that I've gone home disappointed. Even on the worst day, when the midges are eating you alive or you're just soaked to the skin, you just go home exhilarated after a day.
The time actually goes quite quickly here because we have some great storytellers. It's really interesting finding out about almost hidden histories of the park.
Even if you're just using the hatchet and you can hear hatchets going there and there and there, and you know that, okay, I'm just doing this patch, but while I'm doing this, there's 25 other people doing all that.
While we take the work seriously, we're not serious on our approach to it.
They appreciate them an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Johnny could stay for the whole day some days, but depends on what you want. You can walk away from it anytime you want, there's no problem.
People come from all over the world to experience Killarney and the beauty here, but it's really nice to be able to give back in some small way.